when the young play gangster and they do something, y'all say, oh, I was 16, I was 14. Let me break it down for y'all. Let me show you how hypocritical this is. I was 14, and they called me a snitch under adult grown street codes. I was 14. And they hold me under adult rule. Oh, you know better. You should. I wouldn't have snitched. You know better not to snitch. So y'all saying she wasn't grown at 16?
The Russell Brand allegations are horrifying.
The Russell Brand allegations were already horrifying enough, but Russell Brand decided he was going to wake up today and nuke his entire career. He went on Megyn Kelly and essentially said something that I don't think any man can ever come back from. Megyn Kelly starts off the interview damn near apologizing for hating him all these years. She starts off by saying, man, she heard all these horrible things about him. She believed it at first and she hated him because of it, but the fake news is fake and she can't believe the fake news convinced her to hate him. And now looking back, she sees he was just being persecuted. And she goes on this long,
She still believes in the power of whiteness.
tangent just for him to respond with something that caught her off guard, that literally stunned her.
Own and you've been self-reflective on. I want to talk to you about so much of it because my next phase of you, well, I watched you during COVID and I loved all that. And I thought he's gotten very brave and very outspoken in a great way. Then came all the allegations, the alleged sexual assault and rape and so, and it first came in this UK, quote, documentary. And they use that term very loosely there and here. And I'll tell you up front, I was angry when I saw that because they did it in such a compelling way that, especially the stuff about the 16-year-old, that I was angry with you. I believed what they said, or at least believed that there was enough smoke, there might be fire, and said to the audience at the time, the conservative movement doesn't need somebody like that. Like, we love what he's saying about COVID, but if this is a guy who's sexually assaulting women and taking advantage of 16-year-olds, we need to move on without him. And felt that anger for a couple of years around you because I just thought it was so reckless and it was so wrong. And I knew that it might be false, but it seemed overwhelming.
This is when it all takes a turn. Raping is actually one of my favorite things to do. He said in that cool British accent, oh, I love to rape. Yeah, that's what he said. He said it like he was off the Game of Thrones. 16 is the age of consequence. That's what he said. He went deep British on it. He was like, this will save me. But he doesn't care. It must be good to be a white man. He's sitting there with a ponytail and a Hawaiian shirt and $100 million apologizing for grape. Just be like, yo, it's my bad. Oh, I apologize for that. It won't happen again.
Way that they presented the evidence. And then the more I looked at it, the more I started to recognize I might not know the full story because since then I have seen what the British government has done.
She's willing to undermine the allegations for Russell Brand that includes some pretty damning evidence because she hates the UK government and considers them leftists.
What my own government has done to certain figures that it doesn't like. And I have an enormous amount of open-mindedness to you are being railroaded and attacked by people for reasons having nothing to do with actual facts, but with your right-leaning stance on certain issues, your growing prominence as a figure in a bunch of discussions that they find very threatening.
Yo, her face neck combo is crazy. Crazy. She got a Tyrannosaurus Rex face. And
honestly, I just reevaluated the whole thing and thought I need to be open-minded to having been wrong.
You know them double lizard things? I mean, I'm getting old. Mine's probably gonna come in soon too, but these is prominent. These is prominent. She might be one of the lizard people. Allegedly. She allegedly lizard person. I don't know.
In my initial assessments, and I'm interested in a conversation about it all.
Thank you, Megyn Kelly, for giving me the grace to address in particular your anger, which is entirely legitimate and recognizable. And the plain fact of it is that in Europe and in the United Kingdom where I'm from, the age of consent is 16. And
he be waiting. He knows everybody's birthday. 15, do you say?
Did sleep with a 16-year-old when I was 30. But when I was 30, I was a very different person.
He was a young 10 to 30-year-old, just a baby little 30-year-old baby.
I was a lot younger and I was an immature.
Much less gray in the beard.
I was 30. I was a very different person.
30.
I was a lot younger and I was an immature 30-year-old.
The age of consent is like 13 in some places of the world.
But he was an immature 30-year-old. Come on now.
Is it okay for a 30-year-old man to come on a podcast and admit to being with a 13-year-old because
Hell to the Nizzo.
age of consent in that country was 13? There was a comedian who came on his internet and admitted that he went to certain countries where the age of consent was 13 and he took advantage of the laws, or he alluded to taking advantage of the laws and implying that
You already know who.
he slept with 13-year-olds. I came on his internet and I critique him, and now they hate me forever because I'm calling them out. So this is not just a Russell Brand issue. This is a all issue. If you're somebody who's going to these countries where, we can all agree, bruh, like a 16-year-old, that's too young, homie. 13,
Yeah, sure.
like, come on, bruh. Now, I'm American,
awesome.
so 18 is what I believe should be the youngest anybody should go is 18. That's the American in me. Now, if some UK dudes watch this say, nah, Flacco, our age of consent is 16, what are you talking about? The issue here extends far beyond the quote-unquote age of consent. Russell Brand is going to trial in October, not because he had consensual relationships with this 16-year-old and other women. No, the allegations are far more horrifying, which is why when you initially deny something and then you fess up to some of the things, we now have to assume that everything else is true because you initially lied. Russell Brand was actually 31 and she was a 16-year-old schoolgirl.
Crazy.
Now, she reportedly said that he referred to her as the child during an alleged emotionally abusive and controlling 3-month relationship. She told Dispatch the presenter once forced his meat down her throat, making her choke, which led her to punch him in the stomach to make him stop. Now, again, if he was 31 here, he's 50 right now. This was 19 years ago, so this was 07.
Crazy.
5 years later, another woman alleged that Russell Brand raped her in 2012 in his Los Angeles home. The Sunday Times reported adding that she received treatment at a rape crisis center the same day. So again, this is all the proof you need, right? So like if she got raped and then went and received treatment the same day, it's hard to say that, she was just faking it, right? Because some women would engage consensually then.
No, I actually think that should be the rule. Not the rule. I understand that it's a difficult thing to report, but the sooner the better. Let's just say that. The sooner the better, for sure. For everything, for all parties involved, for the idea of catching the suspect as well as for the safety. Like what if there were, what if there's a disease present that, they got like pills you could take after you might have been exposed to something, you know what I mean? If you take it soon enough. So if something has been taken from you, ladies, I think you should certainly go to the police sooner rather than later. Let's get that kit going, as difficult as it may be. But anyway, I ain't gonna get too serious on you. Here we go.
Go away and regret it because they can't get the attention they want from you and then, scream grape. But if she got raped and then on the same day went to a rape crisis center to get treatment, there's some legitimacy here, right? The paper says she messaged him to say she had been scared by him or scarred by him and felt taken advantage of. Adding, when a girl says no, it means no. Brand reportedly replied saying he was very sorry. So again, he admitted to this. The woman said she met him at an after party for his Brand X cat show, told dispatchers she did not report the alleged rape to police due to being scared because of the actor's fame. A third woman said Russell Brand SA'd her while she worked with him in Los Angeles and that he threatened to take legal action if she told.
All right, so he getting accused of this left and right. It's kind of crazy. What do you got to say about that? And I do rape. It sometimes depends on what you consider rape.
Because of the actor's fame. A third woman said Russell Brand SA'd her while she worked with him in Los Angeles and that he threatened to take legal action if she told anyone else about her allegation. The paper reported a fourth woman described being SA'd by Brand and him being physically and emotionally abusive towards her. God damn. The paper said several others had accused Brand of physical and emotional abuse, SA, and bullying, adding that those who had come forward did not know each other and have mostly chosen to remain anonymous. The paper also reported that the woman who said she met Brand when she was 16, whom it gave the pseudonym Alice, contacted Brand's former agency, Tavis Scott Wood, in 2020 to alert them to his behavior she had alleged and seeking an apology. She says she was promised a response when he returned from a wellness retreat. When one came, she said it was from lawyers representing Brand, who issued a denial on his behalf and accused her of seeking financial gain. Alice also went on to work for Channel 5. Now, she says that when she was working at Channel 5, concerns were raised when it was proposed that Russell Brand will host the show. The solution that was offered was that we will take the female staff off the crew. Women that have worked hard to get into this industry now can't work on particular shows because of fear that they might be assaulted or harassed. I was in disbelief. His reputation precedes him. Women who probably never met him, never worked with him said, bro, we're not working with this dude. We don't want to work with him due to his reputation, and they feared that they would also be victims of his because he's a creep and a weirdo. Now, here's the thing. When you first deny something and then you admit to very little of it, I'll just have to assume that everything else is true. Right? Because when you come out and you initially like, I don't know that woman. I've never dealt with no sex. And then you come and say, oh yeah, I dealt with her, but but when she says it was unconsensual, it was not true. Nah, like stop it, bro. I'm not buying it. Now, during this interview, Megyn Kelly response to this dude admitting to this was kind of odd because her response was essentially, I can't judge you morally. It's not my place to judge you morally. Yes, it is your place to judge somebody with that many allegations against them morally, especially when he initially denied these claims and now he's admitting to certain things. It's your job as a journalist and as a reporter to press. But she came on essentially to do an interview with him so they could essentially tear down the UK government for transitioning towards leftist policies. Right, that's what she wanted to do. They're presenting the UK government as somebody who is going after right-wing voices and they're terrorizing them. And because they want to present the UK government as public enemy number one, they are willing to say the UK government is also going after Russell Brand because Russell Brand is a right-wing voice and not because Russell Brand violated multiple women.
Consensual sex, actually, with a variety of people, when there is a strong power differential, as there is when you're a famous man that has the ability to attract women that I had at that time, I think involves exploitation. I think it is exploitative. I recognize that my sexual conduct in the past was selfish and I did not apply enough consideration, barely any, I suppose, really, to how that sex was affecting other people. The only matter that I would contest, while acknowledging, firstly, your right to be angry as a woman who, given what I know about you and the industry you've worked in, I'm sure that you have personal reasons for feeling aggrieved towards powerful men, because in spite of occasionally men coming to the forefront of the culture, whether it's the most hideous gargoyle villains as rendered and portrayed, or the more sort of innocuous and party boy style exploiters of women, a category that I
He was an innocuous and party boy style of exploitative person. It must be great to be white, boy. I swear to God. I don't want it. I'm good on being me, but he get to sit up here. What about the crimes you committed? He gets to say, I'm sorry. I get it. I was wrong. I didn't understand that I was wrong. I was a tender, young 30-year-old.
Pose I must
Crazy,
fall into.
son.
It's plainly something that exists within our industry, and one might say culture at large. While I was transgressing lines of being a person that was sleeping with people because I had availability to not only, by the way, waitresses and strippers and fans and people, but powerful women as well, or powerful professional women that had gravitas and status and power.
But then you still chose to take it sometime, or you still chose to go at the youngins? Does he not realize that now these are also crimes you're confessing to?
I was only really thinking of myself, and obviously I have to be careful of contempt of court because that's a law in my country. Where I can't say anything publicly that might in any way influence a potential jury. But obviously, as soon as I've said I'm not guilty, what I'm in effect saying is I had consensual sex with lots of women, kids, and then there were others that were like women and like 25-year-old guys.
Hold on. He just threw in kids. See, that's why they try to trick you with the accent. Lots of women, kids, and then there was lots of other people like, wait a minute, hold on back. Bring me back 6 or 7 of those British syllables.
I had consensual sex with lots of women, kids, and then there were others that were like women, and like 25-year-old guys would pull up in cars outside the school, like just at my normal comprehensive, that means regular state school. When all the girls in your year go out.
Listen, you don't have to tell. I was called a pedophile.
It's crazy. Charleston White was talking about that. It was kind of insane. I don't agree with it, but I definitely saw some things happen back then. I was a kid myself. I used to see it,
enabler, because I said there's a difference between 15-year-olds and 5.
I got to get your take on this because, Cameron had Shine and, of course, Mace on the show come and talk with me. And then they both talked about dating Brandy at the same time.
Yeah.
And then Brandy just the other day had came out and said Wanye from Boyz II Men, it actually been messing with her forever that she was 15.
That'd be a lie.
And
nigga, that was normal.
People knew that back then. I remember when it was going on. I'm in that age bracket. I remember specifically when it was going on. We was like, damn, he a little grown. But at the same time, if you went to high school in the late 90s, early late 90s shit, when I was in middle school, I remember it. It was grown. Them girls was messing with grown men. It was almost as if they used to brag about how old their boyfriend was.
It actually been messing with her forever that she was 15.
That'd be a lie.
And
nigga, that was normal back then.
Yeah, he was 22.
That was normal.
Yeah, that's what he
that was normal. That's why nobody's responding. That was normal. It was normal in middle school for me in the 8th grade. My 8th grade friends had 12 seniors. When they got out of school, them niggas were picking them up in the 9th grade. That was normal. Why you think R. Kelly got it? That was normal. You can say all you want to. A lot of y'all mamas and daddies is that age.
Yeah.
Facts.
I caught my baby mama fresh out of high school.
Goddamn.
That was the saying. Catch him out of high school and draft him to the pros. But realistically, 21 is not a grown man.
I never did that because actually the opposite happened with me. My oldest daughter's mom had me by like 5 years, but it wasn't like my mother wasn't with it at all. But for the most part, people didn't really trip about it. It was just like, it was just a thing.
21 still got to get permission to leave out the door. But you better make sure you're in here tonight. I don't care. You ain't grown till you get out this house. So you 21, you still getting fussed at. Some 20, 21 is not a grown man. 21 still got to get permission to leave out the door. But you better make sure you're in here tonight. I don't care. You ain't grown till you get out this house. So you 21, you still getting fussed at. Some 20 still in the senior in high school. Coming to half a day. So when they say, okay, that's a college graduate, ain't now nigga I know graduating at 21, 22.
But they could and should. That don't make it right. Don't make it like we justifying this. I saw it all the time. Actually, it was frustrating to me as a youngin' coming up. I'm like, damn, I can't. They all trying to get with, because them dudes, I remember they used to come pick them up in the IROC Z's playing deep cover. Boom, 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 boom. Like 3 o'clock. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of niggas out there. They got gold chains.
Some niggas say,
so let's look at this. 16. When the young play gangster and they do something, y'all say, oh, I was 16. I was 14. Let me break it down for y'all. Let me show you how hypocritical this is. I was 14. And they called me a snitch under adult grown street codes. I was 14. And they hold me under adult rule. Oh, you know better. You should. I wouldn't have snitched. You know better not to snitch. So y'all saying she wasn't grown at 16? Y'all saying we strong enough and we old enough to hold on to street rules at 12, 13, and 14 if we commit crime and go against our mothers. She was sneaking and taking.
She said that. She had to sneak and do it.
But she wasn't sneaking into doing it. How much can a famous 16-year-old can sneak around and do it? She got a bodyguard.
See, this is where he losing me. See, I believe both things could be true. She could be a fast young lady and he could also be a predator. it's still inappropriate. But that doesn't mean that she wasn't in favor of it. You know what I mean? Let's not pretend like it's no such thing as a young girl is trying to move quicker than her age. This exists. But it does not resolve responsibility from the adult. You feel me?
A publicist. Everybody was in on it. Like they was in with Aaliyah.
He's a fact.
They was in with Boosie and his son. Remember, he go get his he go do it on camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boston Richie, Karl Malone, Elvis Presley. We can go on and on. We can go on and on. So I'm talking about, so let's not make like 16 and 21 is a big difference. When nigga, you got 16-year-old right now pregnant by some in y'all households.
Oof.
In the projects.
Oof.
So you mean to tell me these with
still don't
6,
make it
7,
right.
8 kids at my age, y'all don't think they got some young baby?
I still don't make it right. I still don't make it right. We know better now.
Mamas? In matter of fact, coming up out the ghetto at 16, the boy and the girl grown in the grown in the
Why do you think they care so much now?
to sell the book, the memoir. Great for book sales.
Shocking.
In hindsight, yeah, you feel bad.
But see, also, Brandy didn't grow up in the ghetto. Just because she black? Like, come on, don't do that, Charleston. But, you know, this is Charleston White. Anyway, I ain't going to go too much into that. But my point is, people will make excuses and bend the rules to fit their personal agenda. The same way Megyn Kelly was willing to overlook whatever Russell Brand said if he did not say it so plainly. I wonder, even if he said, after he says it plainly, does she give any rebuttal? It seems that she doesn't. It seems she leans more into the gray area of what is and what isn't appropriate when it's, you know, when you talk about age differences at those younger years. But you know, she a reptile lady. You never know with reptile ladies, man.
Year-olds, when we were talking about what
Allegedly, I do not know whether or not Megyn Kelly is a reptile lady, for the record.
Jeffrey Epstein is. And really the point I was making was that the term pedophile only applies to somebody who likes prepubescent girls, which is a very different thing than liking women who are in their, you know, late teens. And then you get into 15, 16 range, and it depends. It really depends.
I guess the law is the law. I'm in a legal situation. Morally, of course it's wrong. It's morally, but I
mean, there are 15 and 16-year-old girls who are having sex with 18 and 17-year-old boys. Like they're,
right.
She one of them. She one of the R. Kelly fans. Yo, I have heard more support from R. Kelly from women than men by a 10-to-1 ratio. More women than men say, that girl knew what she was doing. Them girls knew what they was doing. Those parents knew what they were doing. It's always the women, because she also has a box, allegedly. And she understands that every woman is not a delicate flower. They're tougher and more resilient than they seem.
Like the age difference there does feel exploitative and shocking.
Yes. Like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, kids having sex with each other is none of my business. Me as a 30-year-old, I had no business having consensual
31.
sex with women that were just past girls, that were just over the age of consent. But I wasn't really, it wasn't like my thing. You know what I mean? It was just like, this one, that one, this one, fine.
It felt good to see people on his bumper, because people ain't going for whatever he's selling. One person says, isn't it crazy that we live in a world where pedos do not fear admitting publicly that they are pedos?
Nope. He came right out. He's like, I'm sorry, my bad. Right, because what are you trying to do by Megyn Kelly, by pointing out exactly what a PDF file is versus whatever the name is for what he's supposed to be? Are you trying to soften the blow? That's what it is. That's what you call it. You messing with kids.